Hello beautiful people, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi, and today's video I'm going to be a hater. I am going to be talking about my top 5 least favorite books that I've read of all time. Now, as a rule, I don't dislike books. I like most all of the books that I read. I'm not a very picky reader. So coincidentally, these 5 books are also like the only 5 books that I can remember in my brain that I haven't really enjoyed, or have enjoyed significantly less than I enjoy other books or have found serious issue with. So I'm going to be going from my most favorite to my least favorite on this list. I will be giving you a star rating and a hopefully spoiler-free summary of each. I just felt like being negative today. First up on this list, which keep in mind is my most liked book, is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Now, here's the thing about this book. I actually kind of enjoyed this book. I kind of don't dislike this book, like at all, but I cannot stand the writing style of it. Now, that's not to say anything about the other 2 books in the series, because I absolutely adore those, and I think you can tell how Rainbow Rowell kind of grew as an author, but the writing style of this is very bad. And I don't love it. It's written like a children's book that was marketed towards adults. And I know that's kind of exactly what it is. The only thing that carried this book was the character lovability and the plot, because the plot was actually kind of unique. It's kind of a take on Harry Potter. I think it was actually based off of a Harry Potter fanfiction originally. There's a weird history behind it that I'm not completely 100% on, but the writing style in this is not good, and I was only able to push through it because I liked the characters so much. So overall, I gave this one a 3.5 stars. The second one went a whole star point up from this 3.5 here. It's rough, but we all gotta start somewhere. The next book on this series is going to be the second book in the Alex and Eliza series, Love and War. I remember reading the first book and I finished it in one day. I loved it so much. Although, in hindsight, that's probably got a lot to do with the fact that I was very much obsessed with Hamilton at the time. Yeah, it was way back in 2015, I think. So I went into this one thinking I would love it because I loved the first one so much. And then I realized that it was just terrible, and I DNF'd it really quick. I think I got like maybe 4 chapters. The fact that we went from, I kind of liked this book, to here we are. Yeah, that should show you how much I'm here to hate on the rest of the books in this video. So DNF'd this one, don't even have a star rating for it. Shockingly, this is the only DNF on the list, but I put it higher than the rest of them just because I didn't read so much of it that I didn't have the chance to hate it as much as I don't like the other ones. But yeah, that's where we're at. No star rating, DNF. The third book on my list is the final book in the Charlotte Holmes series, A Question of Holmes, by Brittany Cavallaro. Again, I really love the series, the rest of the series. Except for this is the last book, not the first one, so it's kind of different than Carry On. But I adored the rest of the series. 5-starred the first 2, and then 4.2 starred the third one. The fourth one came out. I was very disappointed. Now, there's nothing in particular that's necessarily wrong with the book, except for the fact that I kind of feel like the ending undid a lot of the work that the series did, which is really unsatisfying, as every Marvel fan will know. Captain America. Anyway, no. It just kind of undid the work of the entire series. The writing style is fine. I love the rest of the series, so obviously I'm gonna like the writing in this one. The characters are okay. I think they get a little bit worse and more unlikable in this one, but this book was, it was a disappointment because it was the last book in a series, I think, which makes it a little bit worse for me, kind of rubbing it in that it was like, hey, this book has a terrible ending. I'm not going to spoil it in case you do want to read the series, because I do recommend picking up the rest of the series at least. It's fun, it's a really good read. It's not too long actually, but this, 2.8. Solid 2.8 stars. I was disappointed and it made me sad. The next book on this list is one that I was hoping that I would not have to put on this list. I was super duper excited to get it and read it. I thought it was going to be absolutely adorable and precious and just make my heart so happy, and it failed very miserably. So I am sad to say that coming in second to last on this list, And They Lived by Stephen Salvatore. The thing about this book is that it is a very similar case of why I didn't like it as Carry On. The author's writing style is just not it. The only reason I didn't DNF it, the plot is there, but the characters aren't in this one like they were in Carry On. They're like, the character lovability is next to none. There was like one character that I think I really liked, maybe two, maybe three if I'm being very generous, but no. And a lot of the stereotypes in this book, here's the thing. This book deals with a whole bunch of different cultures and it tried to be super duper inclusive, which I can appreciate. But maybe three if I'm being very generous, but no. And a lot of the stereotypes in this book, here's the thing. This book deals with a whole bunch of different cultures and it tried to be super duper inclusive, which I can appreciate. But a lot of the stereotyping that it did, I understand, especially for the gay stereotyping and the way that the gay characters talked and spoke to one another. I understand that it is representative of a fraction of the gay community, but it's not a representative of all of it, and it's definitely not realistic in this book. It's definitely not necessarily it. A lot of the stereotypes I feel could be actually harmful a little bit, and that's all I have to say about that. It's just, it wasn't there for me. There's definitely ways to be inclusive that aren't this. Especially if you're looking for inclusive reads. Just don't do it. This is a 2.7 for me. Now, the last book on this list, the very bottom, my least favorite book probably of all time, and I know a lot of you guys are gonna come for me for this one. You're gonna absolutely destroy me in the comment section for this, I know it, but the very worst book, in my opinion, that I have ever read, I don't actually have the physical copy of because I sold it, because I knew I wasn't gonna buy the rest of the series. So I didn't want the one book sitting on my shelf and looking awkward. That is going to be The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. And cue the hate. I know. It's such a controversial opinion, but I've heard a lot from people that The Cruel Prince is just one of those polarizing books that you either really love or really hate. And sadly, I'm on the really hate end of the spectrum because a lot of the fan art for this book is so gorgeous. Like, it kind of makes me sad that I don't like the book enough to like any of the characters or any of the plot. It was rough, guys. I just didn't enjoy it. It felt really complex for someone who would go into it not knowing that much about the Fae. It talked a lot about Fae lore, and the plot was really confusing, and the characters were not lovable in any sense, not even the main character. The only character that I think I actually liked in the series was like the main character's baby brother, whose name was like Oak or something, and I don't think had a single line. But everyone else was bad. It was not a good book. The first time I read it, I did DNF it, but then I did a readathon challenge for some summer a couple years ago, and it was like, read a book that you hate. So I read that one, and I actually finished it that time, figuring maybe if I finished it, I would actually understand the plot and like the book. That is not what happened. I was even more confused by the plot, and I hated the book even more. So it was a lose-lose situation. But I did truck it through and I finished it, and it has a whole whopping 1 star. the only book in my life I've ever one-starred. So that's how we're doing on that. But if you have enjoyed my rant sesh about books that I don't like, then thank you guys so much for watching to the end. If you do enjoy this content, please subscribe because I post videos like this twice a week. You can check out my Instagram for more of my thoughts on books, hopefully more positive ones than this video has been, as well as just some fun pictures of books and my bullet journal and updates about the YouTube channel. I will have that also linked down in the description. Please like this video because it's easy, comment because it makes me smile, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!